All right, let's get started. Okay, hey everybody, welcome to the very first episode of the Otaku Crypt Podcast. I am your host, Joshie T, and with me today, my longtime friend, my actual successor in my anime club in high school, the lovely JaydaNyx. How are you?
I'm doing very good. A little tired, but good.
Yeah, you know, we've all been pulling way too many late nights with stuff. So, yeah, pretty much why I wanted to start this podcast was kind of for what I was just talking about is we used to have this anime club in high school, which was the most amazing thing ever. It was every Thursday we had something to look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
It was, and when I was the president, I planned my whole week around that. Like,
pretty much.
Screw.
That was the same for me. Like,
yeah.
When I was president, I was like, okay, what are we going to do now? I got to make everybody excited as much as I have been.
Yep. And I was like, you know, this is when I was supposed to be planning, like, going to college and stuff. Like, no. The 15 people who look up to me need to see a new Miyazaki movie.
Exactly.
Like, and that was what was important. So
we needed to guide these people, okay?
Yep. That was
our job.
They were adolescents. I think the people before me corrupted me in a way that was far more intense than what we did to people. But, you know, thanks, Sensei. If you end up listening to this, it's all your fault. But, yeah, so pretty much the whole reason I started the Otaku Crypt in the first place, and especially why I wanted to do this podcast, was I miss Anime Club. I missed having, like, a dedicated day where I just got together with my fellow nerds and talked about anime. So, You know what? I'll just do it on the internet and hopefully get, like, a giant community of people who want to talk about it.
There's always people who want to talk about it, no matter what, no matter where they are.
Oh, yeah, you just gotta troll the right place, right?
Exactly.
So I have this very first episode. I'm very glad that you were able to join me, Miss JaydaNyx, because you and I always just have great hour-long conversations about
it never
anime.
Stops
So it's like, why not just record one, right?
Exactly.
So let's just kind of start with some introductions. Like, you pretty much just got the gist off of me there. I had the anime club in high school. That was pretty much when I became otaku, was in high school. Realized that there was more to this giant world than Sailor Moon and Pokemon.
No.
And Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing was the first. Gundam Wing was absolutely the first. This is like sets up my personality. The earliest memory I can conjure is an episode of Gundam Wing. It's the one where Catra has Sandrock self-destruct so that they can escape into space. That's my earliest memory.
Earliest memory?
Yep, it's like that episode of Gundam Wing, and then like meeting the teacher on like kindergarten, first day of kindergarten.
Is that before or after you realized you were watching something from Japan?
I don't even know. I just knew there were giant robots, and they seemed to be like talking to me. Like right now, I assume if a 5-year-old watched Pacific Rim, they're having the same feeling that I had.
Probably.
That's pretty much what that is. But yeah, that was my introduction to anime, was giant robots and all that good stuff. Sailor Moon before going to kindergarten.
Oh my god.
Watch Sailor Moon. Like
Sailor Moon was my first
Yes.
introduction into anything that was relatively anime.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously when I was younger, I thought it was just a cartoon like any other show. But it was more unique. Yeah. I noticed it was more unique than the other shows you would see on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was really interested in it. And I mean, come on. They dress up in sailor outfits.
Oh, Little Moon Prison Power. It was good stuff, right? That was where it was at. And yeah, so that was pretty much my introduction to anime, and it really like kicked in. It actually kicked in grade 8 when it was back when YTV was cool.
Back when YTV had like the 4 hours of anime. Yeah,
but this is back when like the Zone was airing like Beyblade and Yu-Gi-Oh like first season.
Yeah.
And they had Carlos and Sugar.
Every Friday. Every hour of every Friday at that same hour, I'd be like, I don't care who I was with.
That was Bionics. I'm talking about the Zone.
The Zone. No, I know. I remember the Zone.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Zone as much. I was not much of a TV person until like the really good shows started to come on.
Yeah, but that was pretty much, and they were, the whole thing with why I mentioned the Zone is they actually did a week of Annie May, because it was May. So anime, haha, wordplay. And they actually went to Anime North. And I was like...
Yeah, well, back then I didn't even know what Anime North was.
Yeah, this was my introduction to it, and I ended up going on the Sunday and got complete culture shocked. Like, realized...
You don't realize what you're walking into.
Realized, like, how big this world I was getting into actually was. And the next year, I started going for the full weekend, and I've done it, 10 years straight.
Yeah, mine this was my 8th year,
yep.
for sure, but...
But yeah, that was my introduction to anime. You said yours, pretty much Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon was before I realized I was watching something that was from a different country.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it had to be the Friday night, first it started off like 2 hours of anime. Then it got more popular and then it became 4. So mine was Inuyasha.
Right.
I realized, I was like, my friend phoned me and she said, hey, turn on the TV, you gotta watch the show, it's awesome. So I turned on the TV to that time of when, what was it called back then?
When Inuyasha started...
Vortex?
No, Vortex was Saturday mornings on YTV.
Okay.
You're probably thinking of before it was even called a block. And when that was like the 2 hours of anime, yeah, they had Inuyasha. And then they ended up getting an entire block on Friday nights and it was called Bionics.
That was it.
And it was all sunrise shows was the gimmick.
Yeah, because that's why I first realized what anime was, because I watched it and I realized at the end of the show, I missed the opening.
Yep.
So by the end of the show, when the ending was going, it wasn't speaking in English.
Yeah.
It threw me off so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had to go to my friend the next day because we to school. And I was like, dude, did you realize, like, the ending was in a different language? I didn't even know what language it was in. Like, that back then, that was just all new to me.
You're just completely ignorant to the fact you're watching something from
more
Japan.
about this show.
Yeah.
Because there's a teenager with dog ears. And
I was sold on
cute little fox
Inuyasha on Transforming Sword.
Yeah.
I was not into
Oh.
Inuyasha until Tetsaga existed.
No, me, it was Kilala, because...
Oh yeah, it had like lots of adorable things, but that was like
things was...
to get the guy in me. Like I was pretty like still needed dude stuff to get me excited. It was like, dude, he has a katana that transforms into like a much bigger katana. And it was like, of course it was for the wussiest reason ever. It's like, it's so he can protect the ones he loves. It was like, but whatever. It's like, apparently this thing can slay 100 demons in one stroke.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool enough. And then we all just jump into this pit of oblivion called fandom.
Yay!
And here we are. Now taking up our Wednesday night, and whoever else wants to listen to hear us rant about all this stuff.
I know.
But yeah, so that was our intros, and it was, let's kind of jump forward to today. What are you into today?
Oh god. And probably a lot of people are going to be like, oh god. I watch the free anime right now.
Mm-hmm. You were just showing this to me before
I was
we
just
went
showing
live.
it to you. And because there's a new episode out today, so I'm super excited. But, I mean, I just don't watch free. I mean, the last recent thing I probably... Blood Lad. That's the other one I'm watching right now.
I was actually, like, looking around the Viz site earlier today, and that's the one they're plugging right now.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, because I didn't really know until today, free is the iShield 21 of swimming. This is why I was immediately turned off. It was like, oh, sports anime.
But you know what?
Should be good.
It's made from Kyoto Animation.
Right.
And they actually have beautiful animation when they do their shows, because I trust me, I've gone through a lot of anime and tell when companies are just lazy. But like Kyoto Animation actually puts effort into making everything look good, not just the characters, but the environment, like in the background and the environment and everywhere they are.
Yeah.
That's what gets me to watch an anime, is when people put effort into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely a modern, beautiful anime. Just I can't do sports animes.
No, obviously, and especially a bunch of guys in swimsuits.
Like, yeah, oh, this is definitely like this is the show for the girls. Like, I watched this one episode, and there's just guys. It opens on them doing stretches, like perfectly toned teenage boys, just like doing stretches in speedos. And I'm like, okay, I see what demographic this is for, and I am not it. Like, I'll appreciate a good-looking man, but this is clearly female fan service, and I'm done. All right. But yeah, so you're into free, and you said Blood Lad. I haven't seen any of Blood Lad.
I really liked the book.
Yeah.
The book was good, so I decided to give the anime a try.
Right.
I just find that a lot of manga that gets transformed into animes at an early stage, they have to finish the series early. So Blood Lad isn't even that long of a series yet, but it's probably going to stop even before it even gets to where it's at.
Okay. It'll pull the what Hellsing did the first time around.
Yeah,
like
or
the manga
on
wasn't
High School
finished.
Post Club. I missed that show. I love the book. But
I saw a few people. There was a recent resurgence where people have been watching it again.
Oh my god! You know what I would love if they did a Full Metal Alchemist where they just decided to do it again but follow the book this time. I would love that for Oron.
Well, they did that with Brotherhood. You're saying you'd like them to do that with Oron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I can totally appreciate that because I definitely have a couple where I wish they would have been like super true to the manga.
Yeah. But sometimes it gets a little off track, but sometimes it's not a bad thing.
Hey, sometimes they gotta fill a time slot, like in Japan, right? They churn out content like crazy in Japan. Like, they have weekly Shonen Jumps. Like here we get them monthly. There they have them weekly, and that is basically the weekly Shonen in Japan is basically the test to see every week what's getting picked up to be an anime. Mm-hmm. Like they churn out shows that quickly.
Oh yeah.
And
sometimes that can be a really bad thing because then they just rush into it.
Yeah, and then they've just got the studio making up stories, which could be fine. Like personally, and I'll defend it to this day and beyond. I like the original run of Full Metal Alchemist a lot.
Yeah, you're telling me that, and I like it too. It's not bad. I actually like the original run, and I still own both of the series. Mm-hmm. Though I have to say, Brotherhood.
You're in love with Brotherhood, I know.
No. Let me just say this: Brotherhood's final movie, like how they finish the series and then they end it with a movie, right?
Right.
I don't like Brotherhood's movie.
Oh no.
I don't.
But how'd you like Conquer of Shambhala?
Conquer of Shambhala was my favorite.
That movie was meant to make people cry.
That movie
for
was
sure.
So good. Okay.
Yes, it was. Oh, it was fantastic, and it was the greatest way to bridge parallel worlds. It was
it just finished. It just finished.
It was done. Yeah.
It just finished off where FMA, just stopped in the animation series, and we all knew this was coming because Edward was gone, Al was back, but Edward clearly wasn't dead because you saw a clip of him with his dad in the other world.
Yep. Old Hohenheim. To which, to this day, I cannot stop laughing because Scott McNeil was the voice actor for Hohenheim.
In the original?
Yes.
In the original.
And he does this great thing where he's being interviewed on some of the DVD extras, and he goes, he basically turns to profile, and he had his hair really long at the point, so him and Hohenheim looked the same from profile. And it was just, Scott is hilarious.
Oh my god.
If you have never had the joy of being at a convention where Scott McNeil was talking, it's free stand-up comedy.
My favorite was when I was at a Gundam panel. I think you were there too.
I was there.
You were there. We didn't know each other back then, but we were at the
we were
same
both
panel.
There. It was destiny.
It was hilarious because we literally just...
Yep.
This was my first year at a convention too.
Yep.
First year at the convention, I went into this room where everybody was just walking in. We were just following the crowd.
Yep.
And everybody walked in and it was a Gundam panel. And I knew a little bit about Gundam. Not a lot, but a little.
This was a little different too because it was Scott from Gundam Wing, but the other three, it was Matt Hill, Sam Vincent, and I always blank on his name, but it's the guy who plays Mu in Gundam Seed. So it was Kira, Atherin, and Mu from Gundam Seed with Duo from Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely hilarious. You basically had Matt and Sam, so Kira and Atherin, say that Kira and Atherin were totally gay for each other.
Oh, I didn't come in at that part.
Oh, I caught that. That was the greatest thing ever.
I came in for only a brief moment, and that was the moment when they were taking questions, and this girl stood up. And she's like, "Hey, Scott McNeil, can you give a hug to my friend?"
Oh, that was the best. And then Sam and
oh my god, he got so dramatic.
Then Sam and Matt were doing the mood music.
And of course he sat there for a minute thinking about it. He's like, "All right, let's get this over with, right?"
I think probably one of the better ones I heard. It was my sensei told me this story about getting Crispin Freeman to say hi to somebody over the phone.
I've done that for a friend before.
Yeah. And so getting Crispin Freeman, who amazing voice actor, voice of Alucard,
I love
Holland.
Crispin. He plays frickin' Itachi. He plays in a bunch of video games too. He plays
he's been doing
Sakaki in .hack GU.
Yes, the angriest little MMO player ever. But yeah, that was probably some of your early convention stories always seem to be the funniest because of how out there everything seems, right? because it's all so new to you. You don't realize that these are actors, and if you were ever like around drama at all in high school, you know that those people can be damn funny.
Oh yeah.
So and that's
this was I was still in elementary when I went to my first convention. So like I had my best friend and her mom with us. Like her mom had to come with us everywhere we went, and I felt really bad because like, but her mom's actually really cool about it, unlike my parents, because like my mom and dad couldn't care less. They'll let me do whatever I want, but my dad might drive me to a convention, but he'll just drop me off and be like, bye, I'll pick you up in a couple hours, hope you don't die.
My mom's was pretty great. She came along with us for the first couple years. She tagged along for the weekend, and she just took it as a getaway. She just hung around in the hotel, like went swimming, just chillaxed. Like she took it as just a vacation away from home. She made the best of it. Like God bless her.
Yeah.
But I think around the third year when I said like I think we're good to go ourselves now, she was a little disappointed because she didn't get her like weekend away.
Well, like for me, it was first year I remember was her mom was with us. Second year, her mom came with us, but we the first 2 years we only went for a day.
Mm-hmm.
The second year she came with us, she just kind of went up to the people and said, hey, I'm just here to look after the kids. If you can just let me sit over there, like in the convention area, just to know that they're safe. I'm not going to go around and buy anything. So they said, that's fine. You don't have to buy a convention badge. Just sit over there and stay there.
Yeah.
If you're going to let them wander around.
Back when Anime North was taking up one hall.
Yeah. And then
as opposed to the
I think
six
the last
it
time
takes
she came
up
with
now.
us was our third year. That was the first time we decided to stay one night only, at the Marriott.
Mm-hmm.
Airport Marriott, and it was really good. She stayed in her own room, and the girls had theirs and the boys had theirs. So.
Yeah.
And then now this year, like these last couple of years, it's just been boy girl room. No, we're old enough to look after ourselves now.
You guys get like the massive group rate going.
Yeah.
Like it's usually
this
like
year we literally my friend Emily booked 4 rooms.
Yeah.
Under her name.
Mm.
I booked 1 under mine. And I didn't even get the last day, but that's still to be decided.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence if I'm going to do the whole weekend next year, just cause.
For me, by the time Sunday hit, I already had everything I needed.
Oh yeah.
I was done. Like I was just kind of wandering around. I like to stay the 3 days because I like to take pictures of people, because people who put effort into their costumes, or even ones that are just unique.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's
like Tim Horton Man.
And now that I actually have like a decent camera too, I'm
getting this year. That's my goal. To get a good camera.
If like any people who end up listening to this know the anime review show that I do, like compare the original episodes. If you ever saw any of what I call the Dirty Alpha ones, where it's like done on a Sony Handycam, it's like grainy as all hell. Now I shoot on a Canon T5, so it's like it's night and day.
Yeah, my little camera at home actually does a pretty good job too at videotaping some of my stuff. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we definitely went on a nice tangent there. What anime I'm into, the original point I was on. I'm always a Gundam guy at heart, although Gundam 00 really let me down, even though it's not new. It was the first time in a Gundam series I got halfway through and said, I don't want to watch the rest.
What was that, Seed?
No, Seed I loved. You
like Gundam Seed? No, Destiny.
Gundam Seed Destiny was like fun to watch, but completely unnecessary.
I kind of stopped at Destiny. I was like, okay.
Well, and then but it is the running joke about Seed Destiny is take Kira and Athrun and overlay their faces, and that's exactly what Shin looks like. So it's like Kira and Athrun had a gay love child. Only
we
this
all knew
guy's
that was coming.
Only Shin's a whiny bitch. But
I knew that was coming.
What I laughed about with Gundam Seed Destiny is all of the mechanical design is ripped straight from original Gundam.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, having just watched original Gundam again for the little video diaries I've been doing, Return to the Universal Century, where I've been just watching all the old Gundam in order, it's like, wow, you guys really just... I don't know if you clearly meant this on purpose and just how they are the exact same show, but, I will always watch Gundam.
Even Gundam Zero and Gundam Unicorn...
I have not watched Gundam Unicorn yet. I said Gundam 00. I got halfway through and didn't want to finish.
Yeah,
it was so bad. It was like, and the main character was basically like the pussy version of Sosuke from Full Metal Panic. And it was just like, no, I'll just go watch Sosuke because he gets into funny antics with how awkwardly military he is. But and I'm always trying to watch new stuff to do, my anime reviews. I'm 13 episodes into Attack on Titan, and you guys will see pretty soon how I felt about that show in my new review. I won't say too much right now because I still want you to watch the review. That'll be up pretty soon. I had some fun with that one. And yeah, I've been revisiting a lot of the classics that I haven't actually seen because, Netflix got like tons of anime up on it. I finally watched Trigun. Oh
my god, I love Trigun!
One of my best friends, Saronin is his handle. Trigun is his show. He loves like Wild West type stuff like that. Trigun's his absolute favorite show. And then
it's funny because I'm not really into anything Western, but Trigun was hilarious.
But Trigun is absolutely hilarious, and it's one of those roles that suits Johnny Young Bosch really well. He's the voice of Vash, and I think it suited him really well.
Johnny Young Bosch. Remember that time when it was all Johnny and all Yuri Lowenthal?
Yes, there was a time, everybody, when the entire anime world was voiced by Scott McNeil, Yuri Lowenthal, and Johnny Young Bosch.
Because I'm Johnny Young Bosch.
I'm Johnny Young Bosch. And Wendy Lee doing all the female voices.
Yes,
Wendy Lee. And Naruto.
Oh my god.
And Naruto. So, Wendy Lee does everything.
Let's start with Naruto.
Oh no, we'll get into that later when I'm a little segment I like to call Cut the Cord Anime. But we'll get into that later. So... yeah, so that's pretty much what we've been up to watching anime-wise these days. Next thing I kind of wanted to talk about was we're about what I see as being halfway through convention season. I see convention season pretty much.
I still got 2 more conventions to go to.
I know, and I have had a pretty full dance card convention-wise. I'm surprised at how many I've gone to.
I've gone to more this year than I ever have in my life.
Yeah, same.
I'm starting college soon, so I just really wanted to get it done and over with because there might not be a chance like this again. So. Yeah.
So. I was at a Con Bravo this past weekend, which was cool. It was a very small, very game-centric type of con.
That's okay.
I think you would have loved it. There was a room the gaming room, where they had old arcade machines set up back to back for sale, but they were all plugged in and set to free play.
Oh my god!
So there was
tell me this.
There was a free arcade.
When I went to the Science Center, I got a taste of that because they have their 60 years of video gaming exhibit on right now.
Yeah, but they pretty much had a giant free arcade set up. So here I am playing a Terminator Judgment Day shooter.
That would have been Christmas for me. I would have probably bought 5 new games worth.
Oh, I invited
hundreds of dollars.
I invited you. You didn't come.
I had to work.
Yeah. Wah wah.
You lose some and you win some. I'm going to Otaku-thon in Montreal.
Yeah, so you can rub that in my face.
Second time going.
You can rub that in my face later.
That's also because I'm French, though, and I like my French manga.
Yeah.
Because, surprisingly, a lot of stuff that comes from Japan, the French get it first.
Mm-hmm.
Way before we do.
Mm-hmm.
Way before we do. I noticed this when I went to Montreal, and I was like, holy crap, this is not even out yet. They're 10 books ahead of us there, we're just starting this series here.
Yeah. Licensing is definitely funny that way. But yeah, so Con Bravo, small. It was honestly if anybody's ever been to Anime North, they have the convention centers where all the kind of hustle and bustle is going, and all the panels and video rooms are across the street in one of the hotels. This was pretty much Con Bravo. A hotel.
Yeah.
It was just
one place.
It was one place. They took up, it was 3 floors with kind of staggered, taking up rooms for panels, and very small, gaming centric. There was quite a bit of cosplay actually.
Good.
My friends over at Cosplay for a Cure were there all weekend. They did some cool stuff.
I saw them at the one in Niagara.
Yep, they're a great bunch of people. It's Casey Brown is the leader of it. She is just absolutely amazing. They donate their time, collect money for breast cancer research. They do a free photo shoot thing with there as part of their fundraising. The highlight this one is Alex McHale, who's a member of it and one of their models. He had thick, lustrous hair, down to his shoulders. He's been growing it for 2 years, and he cut it all off for charity.
Nice.
Live at Con Bravo. I got the whole thing on video. I'm gonna time lapse it and show it to everybody. But they were there doing good works as usual, so said hi to them. They're a great bunch of people. go to their website and donate to them if you can. I donate to them every time I pop by. Yeah, so they were there, and I went through the dealer's room. Actually had a friend's birthday the Saturday, so I actually bought his birthday present on the convention floor.
It's always good to buy
birthday presents. That was great. I was just like, I walked into his house with a box, and he's like, "Oh, did you get me something?" Oh, yeah, it's fresh from the convention floor. Still smell the nerd on it. Here you go.
Oh my god.
So yeah, he got a Gurren Lagann and it's a shirt that I'm actually got a copy of it too. It's the eye from if you ever play Skyrim and you have the sneak eye. On the front it has the open eye and says detected. On the back it has the line and says hidden. So it's like if you're sneaking up on me from behind, you've got the line that says hidden. That's the whole joke. I love it. But it was small. I went to a really cool panel on how to make your own web show, which was like the reason I kind of jumped on doing this today. With the guys from 3 Terabytes who do game reviews, and the 2 guys who created Space Janitors on Geek and Sundry, Felicia Day's YouTube network. And that was really cool and really informative, and they were a cool bunch of people, had some good tips. It was definitely small, not like a ton of stuff specific to my interests, but I'm very much into going to these smaller cons these days because I've really only been doing one big one, well 2 with Fan Expo, like just 2 big ones every year, and this was kind of the year where I decided that we need to check out some of these small ones. So it started with you and I actually going to Niagara Falls Comic Con for a day, and
I remember that. I didn't even know it was going on, and I almost didn't get the chance to go, but thanks to you, I was able to go.
I managed to steal you away for the day, and we...
You were lucky I wasn't doing anything that day.
I know, it was like, I'm going to feel like so weird. I always feel weird going to a convention alone. Like, for Con Bravo, I was there alone Friday and Saturday, and Sunday I had company. So much better if you got somebody with you.
This will be probably my first year going alone to Fan Expo.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm definitely gonna try and go for. I am definitely going for a day now because one of my favorite cosplayers and YouTube personalities, Meg Turney, is coming, and if I don't meet her, I will just be so sad. So I need to go and meet Meg. She's amazing. So I'll definitely find a way to Fan Expo for a day. But how did you enjoy Niagara Falls Comic Con?
It was okay. It was small.
Very
definitely.
small.
I was able to walk the whole thing in like a couple of minutes, really.
Yeah.
But like, really, I'm just happy to see people dress up. Yes. And get really into it. And walk by
Niagara
and
Falls.
Like, I like your shirt. I like your shirt. And I like your shirt.
Yep. Niagara Falls Comic Con was great, and it was very sci-fi. A lot of Doctor Who and Star Wars.
Oh my god, yes. Not that I don't like any of that stuff, but
no. Like I dig some Star Wars. I do not dig the main franchise. It was more
of a comic book genre.
It was definitely that, like your offshoot stuff. They had a big horror section.
Like there was barely any anime there. There was a small good section of video games, but
yeah, I know you loved the giant plasticine Resident Evil statues.
Yeah, that was
you loved
awesome.
Those with the Cerberus with its mouth like all the way open, like. Where the fangs are touching its ears, kind of open.
It was good.
Yep, and we met Leanna Vamp.
Yes, that's when I took the picture.
Yes, that was great. I love her stuff. Like I think
even I bought one of her stuff, didn't I?
I bought you a Laura Croft poster
because it was amazing.
Yes, right. She's a great Laura Croft. If you guys have never seen Leanna Vamp stuff or Freddie Wong stuff, shame on you. That's youtube.com/FreddieW. And you can see he makes all these great YouTube videos that are all game-centric, and one of them is Old School versus New School, where you basically got Laura Croft, Nathan Drake, Ezio Auditore, and Master Chief fighting 8-bit, like, invader tanks and stuff. And she's the Laura Croft in it. But we met her. She was great. She was really cool. I've been like a fan of her stuff for a while now. She has a puppet show called Best Fiends Forever. It's very hilarious, House of Frightenstein, and I love it. I told her that I loved it. She gave me a big hug for that. So that made my day right there. She was super cool. And yeah, so it was definitely like a small affair, but it was a nice day out. And
I stayed under my budget.
And you stayed under budget. Yes, we didn't go crazy with the spending, which is like
which is always my goal every time I go to a convention.
That is the sign that we're getting old, I think.
What?
Like that we're not like. I remember my first job. I worked at a pizza place, made like $150 a check, but like I had no expenses. That my current anime collection is still from those days. Because I just spent all my money on anime.
A lot of the stuff that I buy in back when I didn't have to worry about saving my money was all towards anime or video games.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely. I think we're getting a little older and wiser in that. It's also that we know we can get stuff cheaper on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm getting bad for that.
Actually, I'm doing pretty good, even though I have like my accounts on eBay and all that jazz. Yeah. Like, and I'll have like a bucket load of stuff in my wish list. But you know what? If I don't have the money,
yeah.
And like even if I do have the money, but I really should save it, I save it because there are far more important things than buying beautiful figurines.
Yep. But, so yeah, that was kind of the small convention stuff. The start of it, of course, was Anime North.
Oh, good year. It was finally good year.
You had a good year, eh?
Because no drama in my group of friends this year.
Yeah, man, it becomes
year,
Nerdy Degrassi so quick at Anime North. It's
every
crazy.
year it's just a drama fest.
Yeah.
And we always have to try to figure out who caused it all and kick them out of the room.
Yep.
You've been voted off the island. Get lost.
I had a meh kind of year in that I was supposed to have a friend coming in from the States, but due to
tell me about this.
Due to money trouble, she couldn't come in. So I was kind of by myself for the first little while, but it's actually Saronin again, the friend whose birthday just passed. He ended up crashing with me, so I had company there.
Oh, that's good. At least you had something.
Yeah, that was cool. And I was dressed up as Holland from Eureka 7. It was a great, comfortable costume. It's just a jacket. And you, madam, had a fantastic costume this year. You did. You were Midna from Zelda Twilight Princess.
Yes, I
and
was.
I'm actually just going to...
With how they looked every time they came in through the mail, and I was like, you know what? I probably could do a lot better job just doing it myself. And trust me, I put a lot of time and effort into this costume.
Yeah.
It took me months.
Yeah.
To do.
And you're probably the biggest Zelda fan I know, with the exception of one. I have a friend who might give you a run for her money, but
only if she's played the first couple of games, because those ones I have no idea about.
Yeah, but so your Midna from Twilight Princess is absolutely amazing. I was sad that I didn't get to see you in it.
That's so weird. We were in the same hotel.
Yes.
I only ran into you once in the elevator.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And you never saw me in that costume.
No.
You never actually seen me in that costume in person.
No, I feel cheated. To this day, I haven't actually seen you in that costume in person.
Just pictures.
Yep. It's all right. I've seen you in your panty and stocking many times. You were panty.
Yes.
And I think you nailed that one.
I could have done a little bit better. I can still probably do a little bit better. I just need to work on it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And
I like the shoes.
Yeah, and you had a demon stocking as your companion,
yes.
And she did a great job.
That was a fun year.
Yep. And any creeper stalkers on that one?
I always have people come up to me. I have a lot of people who come up to me, especially with the Minna cosplay this year. This is the first time I felt really, really accomplished.
Yeah.
Because I had people come up and go, "Wow, you did a really great job on this costume. You look fantastic." I had the face makeup, everything, all those little blue lines, hand painted everything.
Mm-hmm.
I made the ears, the wig, and the bodysuit are the only things I had to buy, and then I also had to buy fangs and contacts. The sad thing about the contacts, though, I wore them for only one day, and then one of them ripped the next day.
Yeah.
I was mad because I was $50 worth of contacts. Now I have to go buy another one, which will probably not be $50 because I got those on sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Horrible contact story. Just a quick tangent here. I wear glasses myself, but I have contacts for cosplay. And it was a couple of years ago. I was the Huecamundo version of Aizen from Bleach.
That was probably, I have to say, that was your best costume.
That was the only time probably one of the only times in my life where I actually looked at myself in the mirror and said, "Yeah, I'd do me." I would. But I have my contacts in for that, and you know, they were kind of bugging me. I was rubbing my eye, and then, like, I realized, like, oh, man, one of my contacts is out. I've probably lost it. Not a huge deal, because it was a disposable. But it's just like, man, this eye hurts. This eye hurts. It's driving me crazy. Later that night, I'm rubbing my eye, and then I see a contact lens on my knuckle. It had wedged itself in the corner of my eye all day, and that's why it had hurt so much. Like, it had folded up into a ball and wedged in my eye.
Ouch, ouch.
That was bad. Like,
see,
everybody around me just went, ooh. There was nothing to be
I've
said.
always heard, like, these terrible stories about wearing the contact lenses for cosplay, and I mean, it got me really scared to use them, but, like, when I put mine in, that was fine.
I always say to people, the trick to it is if you do the thing where you kind of like pull down your eyeball and poke your own eye, like Ace Ventura style.
I touch my eyeball a lot.
If you can do that, you can put contact lenses in.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what that was the only thing that actually made me put the contacts in, because I touch my face every day to make sure it looks to perfection. At least. And poking around with my eyeball is like one thing I do a lot.
Yeah. My one of the best, watching somebody try and put contact lenses in for the first time if they're not used to it. My buddy Tom K, who now does his own gaming channel called the Gamepad, he bought some contact lenses for his Sebastian from Black Butler.
Yes.
And watching him try to put those things in, hilarious. Like, buddy, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry to poke fun at you, but he was like, you can't blink when you put a contact lens in, right? It just messes it up. So he was so bad at putting these things in at first. Like, he was blinking like crazy when he had, like, the contact lens on his finger, like, at waist level. Like, it was nowhere near his eye, and he's already started blinking like crazy as a defense mechanism. It took him a good, like, 6 hours to actually get them in. Like, he left, came back, and tried again.
Really?
Before he got them in. He had a hard time with it, but he got it eventually, and he's perfect with them now.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, like, hilarious, like, a first-timer's attempt to watch. It was definitely just absolutely hilarious. But I mesmerized optometrists with how quick I could put contact lenses in. But no, it said you definitely really did a good job this year and had the whole shebang. You didn't have a headdress.
I didn't have the headpiece. The headpiece, Tom K was trying to help me with it, but we just didn't get around. He got a job, actually.
Yes, he started working full time.
He started working full time, so because we started it because he didn't have a job back then, so we had lots of time. Mm-hmm. And then when he got the job, I didn't even see him ever again after that because he was never home on the days that I was available.
I only saw him again for the first time in about maybe 2 months at my friend's at Saronen's birthday party.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while. It's just those crazy times.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I've seen people walk around without the headpiece and they look just as fine. So.
Yeah. So.
especially the one table I like the best is when they have all the figurines there. And I'll say, oh, do you have this one? They're like, yeah, but it's still packed up and we won't have it out until tomorrow. And I'm like, what do you mean? You should have all this stuff out already.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of us won't be there tomorrow.
Yeah, you definitely get some shrewd trading going on at conventions.
There's some really stupid prices or just some really stupid people.
So I found lately with convention prices, you're actually getting gouged more often than not. Like, it used to be you saved. Not anymore. Like,
the most expensive thing I bought this year was an anime. One anime.
Yeah?
That was Otaku 7.
Yeah.
You know how much that cost me?
Let's see. What, complete collection? $75.
$75.
No? Not even close?
Not even close, buddy. Not even close. My sword, which was the second most expensive thing I bought, was $175.
Oh my god, what did you pay for Otaku 7?
Considering that, well, you gotta consider, any series that you buy, even if you go to an HMV, will cost you about $70. And that's only for 23 episodes.
Yes.
Of a series.
Yeah.
Imagine 50.
Well, I bought that show in individual discs, so I think I ended up
I bought it all in one. It was $225.
Yep.
$225 for two friggin' little DVD holders with six CDs in each.
Yeah. Otaku problems. We're just complaining about getting prices.
But you know what? I told myself, no matter what the price, I'm getting this anime. And that was the only place. It was the Hairy Tarantula. They were the only ones selling it.
Oh, yeah.
Only one. I went around to every table. Nobody else was selling it but them. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I said I was getting this anime. I'll pay any price for it.
Yeah. And Otaku 7's a brilliant anime. Like, I recommend that everybody watch it. It is the ultimate boy meets girl story.
Oh, my God.
And, like, it's like boy meets girl, and then boy and girl's relationship shapes the universe.
Oh, pretty much. Just, like, Eodaka and Renton have to be one of my top OTPs.
They're the most adorable couple ever.
Every time I watch it, I just get all fuzzy.
Yeah, for me, it's Holland and Talho. Like, I love their relationship and that they don't admit how immature they are until the very end.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
And then in admitting that they're immature, they become mature.
Oh my god, I know.
It's I thought it was adorable. It's just a brilliant anime. It's like, and it's great in that it's also an action show. And you can rewatch it.
But yeah, it's just sometimes the pricings of some stuff at a convention is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, yeah, and kind of on the note of how we're watching our stuff, I want to kind of go to my next topic was how everything's going digital now. Like, are you streaming everything that you're watching now? Like, are you only watching your physical copies of stuff, or are you watching online?
I'm doing both.
Yeah?
I'm doing both. Whatever I can really get my hands on. Most of the time, I'll always watch stuff that comes out in Japan before it even gets here.
Oh, yeah.
Then I have to go, like, especially if I love the series, I will go out of my way to buy it on DVD.
Totally. This is an argument I've heard made before. It's like, you can actually, like, people will complain about piracy, but then they don't realize that a vast majority of people who will pirate stuff will actually then go buy physical copies, because they're pirating it to see if they like it.
Exactly.
And then they'll actually go out, like, I'll admit I did that with Game of Thrones. I totally pirated all of Season 1, and now I own, like, limited edition copies of the DVDs.
I remember what I did was that when Persona 4 the anime came out, I watched it online, and then...
Amazing show.
Oh my, amazing game.
Amazing show, like...
The show, like, at least the show did it justice.
I will say this right now, okay? Persona 4 the animation is the only, like, video game show or movie I've ever seen that was exactly what I want it to be. The story from the video game done as a show.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's what Persona 4 the animation is. It is the story from the game as a show. And nothing else.
And when I heard, obviously it was going to get dubbed. I knew it was going to get dubbed.
Yeah.
And I was so happy because there were some people I hadn't heard in animes in a long time. Yuri Lowenthal and Johnny Young Bosch suddenly came back into my life.
Yes, they had Johnny Young Bosch do the protagonist.
Yes, and that was the first time they actually gave the protagonist a voice. Like
Yes.
with dialogue.
Yes,
And he did an amazing job.
And I love the character they crafted for him. It was like, if you've ever played that game, you have like certain like social stats, like charisma, kindness, and all these things, and then you progressively get them up to the point where they have like names where it's like you eventually end up being like a charismatic, motherly badass of a sage genius or something like that. And it is just great. And as the show goes on, that menu keeps popping up, and you see it evolving.
Every time the commercial comes on, it
was great. And they made the character that. They made him the guy that everybody likes.
Yeah, he started off really quiet, and by the end of the series, he was just out there. He was out there.
And
everybody loved him.
The King's Game episode
oh my God.
might be the greatest thing I've ever seen. Where
I don't know, the cross.
He's just unbuttoning the whole time for no reason.
That didn't even happen in the game. That's the good thing about anime. Sometimes they can get away with stuff like that.
They're drawing sticks to see who gets to be the king and gets to tell everybody what to do.
The King's episode was better in the anime, but the cross-dressing scene at school was better in the game.
It was true. This is true. But I just love in the King's Game where he like tosses the stick all dramatic, and they're in a club.
He puts his glasses on
and
for no reason.
He puts the glasses on for no reason, and he like there's club. They're in a nightclub, so the club lighting is on him, and he catches it all dramatic and reveals that he's the king.
You wanna know what's funny about that? Is I think Kanji was in the room and he was like staring at him like, oh my God, he's amazing. Yes. Why can't I be that manly?
I was like, I want to be that guy. Meanwhile, Kanji is like 6'4" and built like a brick shit house.
And he's a first year.
Like exactly. He calls them all senpai.
Oh my God. Anyways, but that was from me. Like, if you go to my house, I have a pretty good collection of anime on my shelf. But same. I watch more anime online than I do at home because...
Yes. And I think that's just the sign of the times. Like, me, I'm pretty much watching everything on Crunchyroll these days.
And I do the same thing when I buy manga. I watch it, I read it online, but I'll buy it here and I'll read it again.
This was kind of a thought I had earlier, because I was on the Viz site, because this just kind of like had me curious, where they offer digital manga sales, but it is one issue at a time. And you're buying, like, it's $4.99 per issue on whatever. And I'm just thinking, like, those guys really probably need to come up with some sort of subscription plan, like Netflix style, where it's you pay, like, one monthly fee, and you have access to all the titles that came out that month.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's probably, like, what they'll need to do to kind of stay relevant. And, you know, I'd probably be reading more manga then if that was the case. Like, I'd gladly pay that monthly fee, but as long as, you know, I could watch, like, everything that you've already come out with, and like the most recent titles for the month, but like everything you publish, not just paying $5 per issue. Because, you know, for non-physical media, and you know, maybe 100 pages, that's a lot. And, you know, and like having a service like Crunchyroll, which is amazing. Like, I can't plug those guys enough. It's honestly just a service that I use and love. And they have tons of anime on there. Sadly, all the Bandai stuff got pulled, because when Bandai, like, stopped producing physical media, that was actually a big announcement they made this past year. What basically they're trying to do is they're stopping production of physical media, and they're going to try and put everything on their own website, so you have to go directly to them.
It's not gonna work. But
no, I hope that it, like, not that I like want to see a business that, you know, makes stuff that I like fail in any way.
Yeah.
But I hope like they learn their lesson and relicense to Crunchyroll, because I love being able to watch. Like, I watched all of Code Geass on there.
Isn't that what Funimation did?
Funimation is just becoming like a powerhouse. They've licensed most of their stuff to Netflix, so I think it's honestly like they just picked. I think there's some Funimation stuff on Crunchyroll, but it's they've been buying up licenses left and right. When you had smaller studios like Geneon go under, 4Kids went under, ding dong, witch is dead. You know, Funimation bought up those licenses and redid it, the great One Piece debacle.
But without 4Kids, we wouldn't have got the Yu-Gi-Oh! We love today!
Little Karibo wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for 4Kids being so messed up.
Oh my god.
But,
oh my god, I remember 4Kids.
Oh, wasn't it bad?
Oh my god.
Saturday mornings on Fox?
Yes!
All the 4Kids stuff.
I remember watching stuff like Metabots and Mew Mew Power.
Oh, yeah, it was,
Beyblade.
That one went on. They've like had like 3 too many spin-offs already. Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal actually finished. Like, because like kids cannot retain interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, they just keep coming up with spin-offs. Like 5D.
I'm sorry, I stopped the GX.
Oh, I couldn't even get through all of GX. Like,
I stopped
was just
the
like,
GX.
they are going to school to learn how to play a card game.
I loved the movie, the Bonds Beyond Time.
You watched it?
Oh my god, it was so good. Like,
the
I sat
version.
there and go, oh, the animation is so good.
The
like,
abridged version was better, I'm sure.
Oh my god, if he turned me on before, he turned me on now. Even more. I
have the greatest power of all, the power to look good in leather. Bridge version was better.
Oh my god, I love the abridged version.
It made Yugi and Fusei totally gay for each other.
Yusei, yeah.
Yep, Yusei. And they just, every time they look at each other, they do the sax riff from So I'm Never Gonna Dance Again.
Oh god, yeah.
Greatest thing ever.
And then, no homo.
No homo. All of the homo.
All the homo. That was great.
That is just great internet TV.
Oh my god, yes.
But yeah, kind of getting back to my point. Like, you saw right there before we started watching, like, your show that you're watching is up on Crunchyroll. Like, I love how they like have these rights to these simulcasts. Like, they're legally allowed to show stuff like Next Day from Japan. They have the rights to it, and
well, I'm guessing because they just want to get the crowd that's over here on this side interested.
And I think it's honestly because you know, they know over here that viewers are not really like particular on subs or dubs. Like,
no, we don't care. Just show us.
Yeah,
give us what we want.
We're
I don't even care if it's in a different language. Just give me what I want.
We're high functioning enough that we can totally read something quick enough and then register facial expressions. Like, they know.
I'm so good at that.
They know anime viewers are like kind of a smarter fandom, as it were.
I've watched so much anime. I've watched so much that I don't even need to look at the subtitles anymore. I practically know what they're saying.
Yeah. You know, it's always about wind, water, and dreams, right? You know, Kaze Mizu Yume.
Like, even when something comes out, even when it gets onto the internet, and you don't even have a subbed version of it yet, I will still go and watch the raw version, no problem.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back and watch the dub. But I pretty much get it from the raw version on the get-go.
Yep. So, Alice Sunshine, my co-host on the Otaku Crypt, is totally in the stream right now. Hey, Alice, hi. We love you too. And, but yeah, so you watch all your stuff online. I do too. Like I said, I was watching just yesterday. I was having a real ADD kind of viewing moment where I watched 3 episodes of Blast Redder because that was recommended to me by a friend. I watched Attack on Titan just because this is the only spoiler I'm going to give because I do have a pending, review coming. It's, I do want to see how many episodes it takes them to get to the freaking point, and the answer is as many as they can make, apparently. Yeah, that sets the tone of that review. But yeah, it was just great that, you can, with services like that, how you can sample various animes, and if you want to watch them all at once, or even if it's a simulcast where it's a weekly thing, at least you know where to watch it. Mm-hmm. And in the case of, I'm paying for a premium membership, so I get it in HD, and paying for that service is totally worth it because not only are you getting like first access to all these shows, you're also getting they have a store now where you actually get a discount for being a premium member, and on some of the things it ends up being like a crazy discount, so I love having that. But I definitely think like a lot of these media companies really need to start going that way if they want to stay relevant, because if a huge company like Bandai realizes that producing physical media is like not a viable option anymore, that's kind of like the writing on the wall for sure.
Bandai.
Oh, I still love Bandai, and like I just hope they go back to like licensing out to third party guys like Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll's covering like all studios, not just one maker. And I definitely just want that because I like viewing their content, but I also don't want to have 30 different subscriptions to various anime studios so I can watch my stuff. Right? And I hope Viz Media does the same thing with their manga, where Yeah, they put out pretty much they have the rights to Bleach and pretty much all the big titles
They
right now.
also have the rights to I actually found out that one of my favorite series that I actually read online, watched the anime already, and it's coming here in English. Biz Mini actually got their hands on it, and I'm super excited. That's Maji. Labyrinth of Magic.
Okay, cool.
That I'm going to sit there. I'm going to judge, and I'm going to judge hard because I'm very critical at how I want things to turn out. So,
yeah.
like I remember when Oron was coming out, and I was waiting for the dubs. I was waiting for the actors to be revealed, and I knew right away who most of them were going to be. And I said, "There's only one man who can play a Tamaki."
Mm-hmm.
And that's Vic Mignogna. He might not have. I just find.
Mignogna.
He might not. To me, he might not have the voice, like the sounding of what I envisioned Tamaki to be, but I knew he had the attitude to be Tamaki. So I said, if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be Vic Mignogna.
Yep.
So.
Oh, Vic's great. I think he's a great voice actor. I think he's
the one voice actor I've met the most in my life.
Yes, he loves to do the incognito thing. He'll throw the hoodie up at a convention.
Oh my God.
And try to blend in.
Fan Expo. I remember I went to a character voice acting panel, and he was there, and I was listening into him, and I had to go after it was done, obviously. And I wanted to ask him questions, but he was being crowded by a bunch of fangirls.
Of course.
So I was like, whatever. I'm not going to waste my time on this. I got other things to do. And I was, walking through the dealer's room,
mm-hmm.
and I bumped into someone, and I turned around and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit. I didn't mean to bump into you." And he's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm incognito." And I'm looking at him like, "Oh my God, it's okay. I got you covered. Don't worry, man. I got you." He started laughing, and he knew who I was because he's actually met me. I've met him before.
Yeah.
He's signed a couple of my things, and I've actually gotten to talk to him before. So he looked at me, and he's like, "Hey, I know you. I saw you a couple years ago, and I saw you last year." And I was like, "Yeah, I love you."
Yep.
Not in that creepy way. Don't think it's creepy, because it's not creepy. Not at all.
It's not creepy, right, Vic?
I wouldn't be that creepy. Usually when I meet people that I think are super awesome, I get a
heart
attack.
I'm honestly surprised how meeting a couple people, meeting Leanna Vamp. I thought I was gonna fanboy a little. No, you were there. I was pretty cool.
You were pretty cool.
I was pretty cool about it. She's she
seemed really nice.
She was an absolute delight.
She seemed like she was happy to talk to us. So.
Yes, I also think the fact that I actually brought up her work as opposed to just being the guy who was ogling a pretty girl.
The only reason why I flattered her the most because she looked great in what she did.
Yes.
Everything that she did, it was professionally done.
Yes.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she's an absolute champ. I hope she's comes back for Video Game High School Season 2. I
think it's out, actually. I think they started it.
Episode 1 is out. It's amazing.
Yes.
Did I introduce you to that?
Nope, my best friend Emily did.
Awesome. Yeah, Season 2 is out. And they've gone to a TV format now.
Yeah.
It's half-hour episods. But, I'm so excited. I love they open on them playing an MMO. And they're in full armor. Alice, if you're listening right now, go watch Video Game High School Season 2 Episode 1 because they've got LARP gear that would make your friends jealous. Pretty much in that opening sequence. And then the fact that they realize they do a nice little nod to Back to the Future right before the credits roll where it's man, we've been grinding this guy all night. We haven't got any epics. Wait, all night? Oh no! We're late for school! And then a rock riff comes up that is very dangerously close to That's the Power of Love for Back to the Future. It was great, and it's why I love that show. I think Freddie Wong and I have a similar sense of humor, so he's definitely making content for me. And I've listened to stuff he's been on. He's a really cool guy who's really passionate about his work, and it shows in a show like that. But that show is definitely that's the world you and I want to live in, isn't it?
Obviously.
Where professional gaming is treated like professional sports.
If I can go to school and just I know you can go to school, make video games, play video games.
Yes.
But I mean a school like they're in.
Yes.
I would love that.
It is a world where professional gaming is a real pro sport and given that kind of attention. The fact that
and there's different classes.
You you've got the main character Brian who's on the FPS team.
First person shooter.
Yes, and that's his major. He's going to school and his major is first person shooters. But
I'd be in the RPG major.
yes,
I'd
right?
be in the RPG major.
Totally.
That's what I do.
And yeah, you'd probably be like in one of the groups where you're like, you had Warcraft days, so you'd probably try.
I
and go
remember
for
my
one of those.
Warcraft days.
We all had Warcraft days, and
Yep.
we're all usually pretty ashamed of them. But on that note, any MMOs on your radar these days?
MMOs? I don't play MMOs.
No?
Nope.
Not since Warcraft?
Not since Warcraft.
No?
I'm not saying computer games are bad, because
No?
that's not true. Oh, that's a lie. Diablo 3.
Oh, you're on the Diablo.
I like
3.
my Diablo, okay, man? I've been playing that since the first Diablo. The second Diablo took it for me, and then I was excited for the third, so.
Okay, I can respect that, because you've been around since
That's the
first
only one that I play.
And, I tried Diablo 3. I beat through the main story once, and, that was enough for me, when the whole premise of that game is you're supposed to, beat every difficulty.
Yeah, there's different things.
Yeah, and it just didn't do it for me. And then I discovered Torchlight 2, which is basically the indie version of Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Torchlight 2, I love it. That is my dungeon crawler of choice. It's just...
For me, I'm not a PC gamer.
Mm.
I'm a console gamer. I like my console games.
So
and handheld.
So, kind of on this note, the MMO that I'm super excited for is Elder Scrolls Online.
I know. I saw that at E3.
And kind of perfect for if you do decide to get into that. It's going to be released on the PS4 and Xbox One, so you could totally play it on your console if you wanted.
We'll see. I wasn't a big fan of the Elder Scrolls series. So.
Did you do Skyrim at all?
Did Oblivion.
Oh yeah.
Played 20 minutes of Skyrim, and I was like, nope.
I'm way into the Skyrim right now. I got sucked.
I don't know what it is, but I can't play Skyrim. I'm not saying it's a bad game. Don't get me wrong. It has beautiful graphics.
I think the problem that most have with it, and I can totally see it, it is a game where you can get easily distracted and you don't know what you're supposed to do.
I have no problem. I have a really good sense of direction. It's just that's not my style of game.
No, this is why, and this is probably I've heard similar people say this. At the time, there was kind of, as Skyrim was kind of starting to fade. It hasn't really faded at all because it had
still going
DLC.
pretty strong right now.
But when it kind of had a lull, Ni no Kuni came out.
Kuni!
And yeah, we're gonna have this chat. Ni no Kuni came out, and a lot of people liked how linear Ni no Kuni was.
I like linear.
Yeah,
I like linear.
It was, and still. There was enough to do. If you wanted to do some side stuff, there was plenty to do. That's why I love that game.
I liked when I would go to do a serious part of the storyline.
Yes.
And then I would take a pause and just go out and do all the quests and the hunts and do all my things. Level up.
Bounty hunts were the best.
Oh my god, they were so much fun. It's just I liked that game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love that game.
This was one of the things I wanted to talk about.
One of the greatest RPGs I've played in a while.
I still hope it gets a Game of the Year award. I think it deserves it.
I think it deserves it, too.
I think it totally deserves it.
Obviously.
But we've kind of had this chat before, but I want to bring it up again. A Ni no Kuni sequel. How bad do we need it?
Very.
Very.
You have any idea how excited I would be if somebody told me there was a sequel, today?
Yes.
I would be jumping up and down, and my first thought would be, okay, are they going to go off to where Oliver just left it, or are they going to age him?
You are hoping they're going to age him because
I hope so.
We've had discussion, the instant you saw Lucian, so basically grown-up Oliver.
Pretty much.
You have never wanted to be an animated woman more in all of your life, so that you could just jump his pretty red-haired bones.
But he's so adorable, and he's going to grow up to be adorable. And even as an old man, he still had the rock and orange hair.
Yes, as I won't say. Yeah. I won't say because that's a big spoiler.
Yeah. As an old man, he was rocking. I'm just saying that.
Yes. But yeah, still, I really hope they do that, and I hope that they fix the couple problems I did have with the game. The main one being raising familiars when they metamorphose. They only change in color scheme.
Yeah, I wish they would have gotten bigger.
Exactly. I was hoping for a little more Pokemon style, they would have got bigger. You start with that little warrior.
Yeah.
That's, maybe a foot high. I was hoping maybe by the end,
You might have a couple extra spikes sticking out, but that was it.
Yeah, I was hoping by, third stage, he'd actually become, at least, 5 foot tall with full armor, really change.
That's probably what's going to happen if they make a second game. That's probably what they're going to upgrade.
Yes,
they probably just made them small because they just wanted to play around with it, see what the audience think about it.
Also, I think to complement the storybook look of it, because it's a game done Studio Ghibli style.
Exactly, and I love Studio Ghibli with all my heart.
But why I say the big familiars will work is because of that one boss battle with the giant familiar.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So we know it's totally plausible, it can look way cool, and there's still, like, you can still have cutesy familiars and ones that grow into bigger, more...
every type of genre anybody likes. You want it big, you got it big. You want it small, you got it small. You want it cute, it's cute. You want it ugly, it's fucking ugly. Yeah. Excuse my language.
Yeah. I think that's the only F-bomb we've had all one, and I'm surprised I was the one who dropped it, so thank you.
For me, my biggest problem with that game is there's always going to be a problem with any game.
Yes.
Was my AIs.
Yes.
My party members died all the time.
Yeah, they drop on
No matter
you.
how good their equipment is, no matter how high their levels were, they don't know how to coordinate properly. Mm-hmm. Oliver was the only one that friggin' lived. He was the only one that walked around alive half the time for me.
And that was kind of like, I think they were smart in the sense that you don't have to play as Oliver.
They got better closer to the end.
Yes.
The beginning, I struggled so hard with them.
Yes, and I think it was smart that you didn't have to play as Oliver, but you're pretty much told you should play as Oliver because he can do everything. He has familiar spells and can heal.
Yeah. For me, the only time I've never used Swain. And I don't use him. I just have him in my party because he's good.
Yeah.
And then when I had Esther, the only person I would switch to was Esther, especially when I had to serenade the monsters to get them to join my party. That was the only time I would ever be her.
Yeah.
But once Marcus stepped in, I was like, okay, we need an all man's party. Get out, girl.
Yep. And I definitely would love a sequel where they time skip because I want to see grown up Esther. That'd be a pretty.
I know what grown up. Well, I know what young Swain looks like.
Yep.
I like young Swain. Young Swain was good.
Yes.
They should have kept that good.
Yeah.
But I like rugged Swain too.
That was like that whole game is just like they played with everything. You time travel, there's magic, there's steampunk elements sort of because of it. The other world is Motorville.
Yeah.
Where everything is mechanical. Like when you're in Hamlin, everything's mechanical and steampunkish. Like it merged a lot of genres. Well, in the Studio Ghibli art style. So it's like this is the most beautiful game I've ever seen.
I think Ghibli would have a good success with if they added more into video games.
Yeah, well, it was actually Level 5 that made the game.
Yes,
Studio
which
Ghibli
is an amazing
the art.
which is an amazing company.
Yes.
I own a lot of their games.
I got way into a game of theirs called White Knight Chronicles. Did you ever try that?
I heard of it, never played of it.
I got way into it on the first one, and I was super excited for the sequel until I accidentally got a spoiler on the story, and it was like I saw this spoiler and said, I can't play this game now because the first one lost all credibility with that spoiler.
For me, Level 5, I like the Professor Layton series.
Yes.
And I will always love the Professor Layton series.
Yeah. But, yeah, definitely, Ni no Kuni, I think Ni no Kuni probably Game of the Year for me, and
at least RPG
RPG of the year, for sure.
God, that was such a good game. Because I'm pretty sure, The Last of Us, I've played The Last of Us. That was a good game, and just because I know what the world's thinking, it's going to be up there too.
Yeah, and I think Last of Us will probably get it because it does have a much broader appeal.
And it's more to everybody's liking.
Exactly, whereas I definitely have my leanings toward Ni no Kuni because of it being an anime-style game and an RPG, which is my preferred style of game.
There's 3 things I like about that game. Ghibli, Level 5, and Bandai.
Yes.
Namco Bandai.
And just to summarize that game for anybody who has not played it, imagine playing Final Fantasy and Pokemon at the same time.
Pretty close.
With a storybook watercolor look. The end. What more do I need to tell you?
It was such.
But yeah. So while we're on the topic of our games, and you probably being one of the most hardcore gamers I know, you just devour games, girl. What you looking forward to? What's upcoming for you?
Me? I know in 6 days I finally get my hands on Tales of Xillia, the next installment of the Tales series.
Yes,
I love my Tales series.
Yep.
I have every game up to date, even the ones that are still in Japan I've played.
Yep.
I love those games. And I'm excited for that one to come out. That comes out on August 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been playing Tales games like crazy. I'm just going back and replaying some of these games because I'm just such in the mood for it right now. I'm playing Graces.
Right.
And It's just, I love it. I'll sit there, I swear to God, I put 11 hours into it just today.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah. I, so with me, I actually went back to, I got Skyrim again on my PC during the Steam sale.
Yeah,
I got
Steam sale went by.
I got all the DLC in there, so I've been playing that again. And I was playing Borderlands last night while I was rendering something.
Yeah, you like Borderlands.
I love Borderlands too. It's like, I am not into shooters. Borderlands stole my heart. And I got way into Borderlands. The guys over at Gearbox who make it are just like, they have a great sense of humor, and they know how to do social media right. Randy Pitchford, who's a big player over there, I follow his Twitter. He has a great sense of humor, loves all the stuff that the fans send him. Actually, I'll show you there in a second. I actually have a loot chest. I got one of the limited edition loot chests from Borderlands, and it's got like a Goliath mask, a bunch of like propaganda from Pandora, like newspapers, and a bunch of cards with codes for legendary weapons. I haven't put any of them in yet, but I do that. And that is honestly going to be like a nerd centerpiece on every table I have for the foreseeable future. But as for what's coming up that I'm looking forward to is my next game's Killer is Dead, which is made by Katakoa Games and Suda.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
And Suda51. They're calling it the spiritual successor to Killer 7.
I've heard of it.
But basically what sold me on this is it's the same guys who made Lollipop Chainsaw.
Okay.
And I really got
Still haven't played that game.
What I'll tell people about Lollipop Chainsaw is it is a 6-hour game. Super short game. But every single moment of those 6 hours is enjoyable. So, and I really got into to doing the build-up with Lollipop Chainsaw. I was actually introduced to it with my friend Cecil. She made the Juliet outfit. She was actually the first one I ever saw do it. And
I believe Tara Strong plays.
Yes, Tara Strong is the voice of Juliet. And but so yeah, Cecil, you can check out her page. She's actually going to be doing stuff on the Otaku Crypt. Cecil Rapture. She was actually the first one I ever saw do the Juliet outfit, and then Jessica Negri, of course, got the job being the official Juliet to promote it, and it was actually Tom K and I went to the official pre-sale opening thing for Lollipop Chainsaw.
I remember you were telling me about that. I remember that day.
There's tons of pictures of that. I got to meet Jessica Negri. She was a total sweetheart. And Tom got to meet George Romero, who was there, who's a consultant on the game, and
nice.
Tom, big horror movie fan, and so we had a great time. We got dressed up as zombies. We were completely blood splattered. I had just white face makeup. Nice. I look dreadful in the good way. But yeah, it was really cool. You know, got to kind of meet somebody who I only knew from the internet. That was the start of it, pretty much. And that is one thing I will say about the cosplay nerd community. Like, actors and stuff, maybe you don't want to meet them in person because you don't know what they're going to be like. Nerd culture people, it's usually like how you've seen them is how they are.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's nothing fake about any of it.
No, there are very few people who are, creating some character to display, and then when you meet them in person, they're terrible. I found with the nerd community, it's been great. You know, I met Jess Negri. She was exactly what I had always seen her to be. She was bubbly, a little too hyper, and she was an absolute delight. And so I think, next person I definitely have to meet, like I said, I'm going to try and meet Meg Turney at Fan Expo, and somehow I got to meet Yaya Han, because she's the greatest. She
takes really good pictures.
Yes, and she is a craftsman. Everything you've ever seen her in, unless she's credited otherwise, she has made, and she just does absolutely amazing stuff. And so yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to that. But getting back to Killer is Dead. Killer is Dead is coming out from Katakoa Games, and it is about an assassin. It's actually, I saw this interview with Suda51 that actually got me interested in this, where he describes it as, it's basically an homage to the old Shogun Assassin movies and TV shows, where it was about a government official who's an honorable samurai by day, but he's an assassin for hire by night. And so the whole premise of that is you're this assassin, and you get the contracts, and you have to decapitate your enemy and bring back the head as proof of the kill. But then it throws in other elements. Mondo, the assassin, has a katana in his right arm, but his left arm is cybernetic. Like, huge, like, robot arm.
Okay.
And so that's like, and you just go through and it's going to be like, gritty, dark, noir type of game. But it's also apparently going to have like kind of a heavy, like almost over-sexualized element to it. Because you got like 3 girls you can supposedly romance. And, oddly enough, not oddly enough, because she worked on Lollipop Chainsaw, same people, Jessica Nigri has been the official Vivian for Killer is Dead.
Oh, there you go.
So I've been seeing stuff there. And it was a cool costume. It's definitely, she is definitely the fan service character in that, the Japanese love a tall, busty blonde. And, well, Jess is not tall by any means, especially if you see a picture of me standing next to her. Oh my god, I made that poor girl look short. She's definitely like a fan service character from what I can tell, and they've been doing these promotional videos that are kind of Japanese goofy. But I'm looking forward to that game because the action and fighting looks like really like fast paced and cool hack and slash type game. And yeah, that comes out at the end of this month. I'm looking forward to that. And just before the new year, the remake of Final Fantasy X comes out, the HD remake.
And the remake of Kingdom Hearts.
There you go.
Oh, it's gotta be a good start.
That is going to be a good start to the year.
I am excited for that.
Yep. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been looking forward to gaming-wise, other than Elder Scrolls Online, which will be coming out March 2014. I'm going to play the crap out of that, especially if how they're plugging it ends up being true, where it's just like playing Skyrim control-wise, but online. If it is actually that, I'm going to love that game. I'm also planning, because, I think I'm getting it for free because I played the original version, Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn. Yes. I'm probably going to be playing that with Cecil. So, I have to build a new computer first. The one that I'm doing, we're doing the stream from right here. Little old.
Yeah, I can tell.
if we're lagging at all when you hear us, that's why. The computer's a little old. We're trying.
Well, for me, in the Final Fantasy series, I'm excited for the remake of 10. I'll most likely get my own copy for it. I'm excited for 15. I know a lot of people aren't. I'm excited for 15. I knew that was going to happen.
Have they announced anything for it? Like, we know what the premise is and whatnot.
Well, you know what? You remember when they announced Final Fantasy Versus, right?
Right. That's
15.
That's right. With Nocturnus, that picture we've seen everywhere, but nobody knows who he is. Yeah, Noctis.
I remember it was funny because when it first came out, everybody addressed him as Prince. He had a name, it was Prince by the fandom.
Oh, yeah, because he was on a throne.
He was on a throne. He didn't have a name at the time, he was just known as Prince, and then they gave him the name Noctis when they officially released it.
Yes.
I'm actually really excited for it, and it's actually going to be Kingdom Hearts style, where it's not, oh god, I can't believe I'm at a loss for words. Turn-based. That's it. It's for once in their life. It's not going to be a turn-based Final Fantasy. It's going to be a action adventure.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, 13. I wouldn't call that turn-based at all.
Well, you still had to hit a monster, stop what the heck you were doing, and fight it.
Yes.
This one, at least, you have options. You can choose to fight it, go at it any way you want, any angle you want, and if it's kicking the crap out of you, at least you can get out of there.
So, kind of like closer to Crisis Core then, where like the way you moved actually moved
pretty much.
A lot.
Yeah, like I said, Crisis Core, like Kingdom Hearts. It's the way because it's funny because the people who made Kingdom Hearts is working on Final Fantasy 15 right now. Mm-hmm. That entire cast of people is working on it right now. Right. That's probably why we haven't heard about Kingdom Hearts 3 in a long time. Except for this year.
And then they announced it at E3 and like fangirls and boys were shitting pants everywhere.
Oh please, I could feel the earth shaking that day.
And then you realized it was just your heart.
I was crying of happiness. Tears of joy. I was so happy. Even though they're just saying they just started the production.
Yeah.
This game probably won't even come out for another 3 years.
Yes.
But these next 3 years
that was absolute bait on the hook.
Even the people from the company, even Square Enix was saying maybe we released the information a little too early, but there's nothing they could do about it now.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what we've got to talk about today, unless there was something else you had in mind.
No, I can't think about anything at the moment.
No, just a lot of stuff to look forward to, kind of midsummer.
I don't want to talk about too much because we can save it all for later.
Yes.
Save it for another day.
I'll definitely
There's so
get you
much.
back.
Trust me, there's so much we could talk about.
You and I always have great chats.
Trust me, if we have one subject to talk about, we can make it last 2 hours if we wanted to.
Yes, and we're just short of an hour and a half here.
Yeah.
So, it was definitely fun, and I'll definitely have you come back for this. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I love talking about the stuff I love, and especially letting people hear my opinion on it.
Yes.
I mean, they can either enjoy what I think, or
Yep.
they can disagree. I don't care.
Yep.
Like, this is what I think,
All
not
right.
what the world thinks.
Yes, I do what I want.
But everybody has their own opinion. So.
But yeah, absolutely. So where can people follow you? Just to your YouTube channel, which is JaydaNyx.
They can go there, but really, I'm really new at all of this. I have like 1 or 2 videos on mine.
Yes.
But like, I'm still trying to figure out how to put videos on YouTube.
Well, guys, anybody listening to this, you'll definitely, if you liked JaydaNyx on this podcast, let us know, and I'll convince her to do more stuff and get her on our channel.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll get you on the Otaku
Trust
Crypt
me,
for stuff.
they should hear me talk about The Legend of Zelda for about a good half an hour.
Yeah, we'll just record. We'll just record 8 minutes at a time of you squeeing. Like it's honestly like a 3-hour rant that I'll chop into 8-minute segments or something. But yeah, so leave some feedback if you guys liked listening to JaydaNyx here. She is also a lovely sight to see, as you would see in that picture. She'll be great on camera. So,
I'm not camera shy at first. Yeah, it might take me a couple minutes to forget about the camera being in the room. But.
Yes. But, so you can always follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Otaku Crypt, and the YouTube channel, pretty much the same thing, youtube.com/Otaku Crypt. That's where a lot of our, we have review videos there and convention videos. I made a quick little view of our friend Hacksaw Jenny and No More Tomorrow Girls in their Evangelion cosplays. I made a quick little video of that. It was cool. Our reviews are there, and Alice Sunshine is always doing LARP stuff. She's got a ton of video from a 9-day event that she's been cutting together. So she'll be showing you that. And you can always follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at my handle is
I'm on Tumblr.
You're on Tumblr? And you can follow me on Twitter at JoshyT_meta. And yeah, so everybody who did listen, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time on the Otaku Crypt Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.